B.B. King's a couple hours before your show. Welcome to New York City.
Thank you.
Have you had a chance to go around town today?
Not too much. Yesterday we got in on Sunday, and actually Andreas has been here from Brazil now for a couple of days, for a few days, but we all got in Sunday, rehearsed on Monday, and went up to see Eddie Trunk last night, our good brother in metal.
Sure.
And then just, got over here today, and, I've been here quite a bit into the city, so today's kind of just get in and get things rocking here for the show tonight.
Do you have a favorite part of New York City? Are there any neighborhoods you like?
You know what, I love Little Italy, just going to John's,
Food?
That's like my good pasta spot down there, pasta and pizza, so, yeah, that's Times Square is always good. It's a cool hang, and especially since it got cleaned up years ago. I remember the first couple times you came here, man, it was dangerous around Times Square, but now, family friendly.
It is, yeah. You got to go over to 9th Avenue for all the porn and hookers.
Yeah, which I don't have any need for at this point. So,
you're a Reformed Christian, I've read. Is that?
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's funny. I grew up Christian. I grew up in a Lutheran family, growing up and everything like that. So, now that I have kids, we go to church and we do all that. And so, which is a weird. It's always looked upon weird in the metal community because so much about lyrics and stuff are like almost anti-religious and that. But which whatever, you write a song about it. But yeah, just as a family guy, I think that's kind of a crucial part of that way of life myself.
Hail, your band tonight, it's basically a tribute to the gods of metal. How did this band come about?
Our manager is a big metalhead, a fan. He and I have been friends for a lot of years, and so he had been contacting me for a couple of years about trying to do something like this. And he got with me last year, actually in late '08. I had just come off the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp tour, which is basically helping these campers that sign up, learn cover tunes and things, and go out and play a show that night at a place like B.B. King's and stuff like that. So I had a lot of tunes in my head, and I was kind of already in that mode. So when he called me, I said, this would be great. Let's make this happen. So the first goal was to go down to South America, because the whole point of Hail is to go to far-reaching places that even some of our current and former bands don't get to go to because of the size of the operation, and it's it's just too hard to go there. But with a band like Hail, we can bring 4 guys who are all very well known in the metal community, but because of the way we do it and playing the songs that we play, we can really go scale it back and go lean and mean and get into these far-reaching places. So after we did our first run of dates back in January, a year ago actually, we've now done like 22 shows around the world. And tonight is cool because this is the very first time we've ever played in the United States.
Do you think there's long-term potential for Hail, or is this, for a little while?
I think there is, because again, it's we're not, people are like, oh, you guys are going to record an album, and it's like, why ruin a good thing by going in and trying to write a bunch of songs? That wasn't why we got together. We didn't get, some bands, most of the ones I've ever been in, we get together with the sole intent of we're going to write some songs, put out an album, go on tour, and we're going to, build this thing. And that's, that's what, we do. But with Hail, it's not that. With Hail, it's like, look, we're already known for what we do. We already all have legacies of work that we've done. This is, we're getting together to not have that, thing come with us, but have the goodwill that comes with it, because again, it's more about just the celebration of great tunes. We're all friends. We've all grown up listening to the same music. It's like we all lived in the same hometown and jammed in our basements, kind of, learning the same kind of tunes. So that's the fun spirit of it. And, I would think that there's no reason why we couldn't keep going and doing this for as long as we ever wanted to keep doing it, really.
Are you still in contact with any of the various members of Megadeth who kind of went in and out?
I am, yeah, I am. Just randomly, you know, from time to time. You know, the only one I haven't talked to in a while is Chuck Beeler. It's been a few years since I saw him when I, you know, traveled through Detroit, where he still lives. But yeah, for the most part, I still have contact with most of them over the years.
And would you ever see yourself ending up in a band with, I don't know, I know Marty Friedman's out in Japan,
yeah.
But you know, any of the other guys who've stayed local, well, Jimmy, of course.
But Jimmy and I, you know, it's funny. We just ended up having just a great musical, you know, camaraderie between us. You know, he and I play good together. In fact, at B.B. King's, we played here about 3-4 years ago with Montrose, and again, a way, you know, kind of a classic rock, hard rock gig, not a metal gig. But that was cool to play with Jimmy on that. I brought him in to play on the F5 record, the last record that we did, The Reckoning. And then, of course, we've done Hail stuff. So Jimmy and I have been very active together on a lot of things. Al Petrelli and I'd love to play with him. He's very, you know, pretty much full-time now at Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Sure.
And he's, you know, again, a good friend, great. He and I musically really lined up well. And not just on metal things, which was kind of nice. He and I kind of grew up listening to a lot of the same kind of music. Again, more hard rock things, even like Pat Travers and various, you know, hard rock guitar records growing up. So I enjoyed my time playing with him, and we, you know, became good friends out of that.
You mentioned F5. What's the status of that band right now?
We did our show, the last show we did, I should say, it was in Nashville in the summer. And I mean, at this point, we basically need to write some more songs. We all have a bunch of tunes kind of laying around that we haven't gotten together to do. To be honest with you, I've been pretty busy traveling with Hail. And so over the last few months, so I've been busy doing that. I have this record coming out that I did with Rhino from Manowar called Angels of Babylon. And that's coming out, it comes out in Europe actually this week, and then it's in Europe and Japan, and then we're, I think the U.S., the North American side of it, the release, we're hoping to try to get that out this spring. So I was busy playing on that, and so, you know, I'm scattered into a lot of different things that I've really been enjoying.
I've looked at the set list from the European shows and whatnot. I see Peace Sells is always in there. Are there other Megadeth songs that you'd like to start incorporating in?
You know, the set list always changes. In fact, tonight is different. It's different from that. And so we're actually always rotating songs in and out because, again, you know, these things end up being posted on the internet so people know that. So, you know, to some degree, it's kind of fun to change it so no one ever gets the same set list twice. In fact, Mike Portnoy, it's funny because he and his band is like the set list guy. And me and Hail, I'm like the set list guy. So the two of us, we're having many meetings and discussions over the set list just because we're passionate about it. We want it to be great. You know,
it must be a lot of fun because there's 1,000 songs you could pick from.
Yeah, and you know, when would Mike and I ever get to be in a band together? When would Ripper? I mean, I played on Ripper's solo record, and he had me tour Europe with him, but it was a couple weeks. You know, when would me and Andreas, you know, who lives in South America, ever get to be in a band together? So we get to have all the fun and the camaraderie and these sort of you know, kind of like creative sparks that happen like that, because that's a big part of being in a band. It isn't just about the songs you're playing. There's sort of this thing, being on the road, coming together, rehearsing, learning the tunes, working parts out. You know, that's all part of the musical, especially the performance aspect of being in a band together. So